Attention, the following video is going to totally kick ass. If you enjoy any of it and or have a large penis, please click the like button below. Enjoy.
Whip so rowdy, whip so loud, whip so full, whip so loud, whip so smooth.
What is going on, guys? I am NobodyEpic, and this is Awkward Situations, the series where you guys write your real life, honest, awkward situations that have happened to you in the comment section below. And then for next week's video, I will pull one or two of those awkward situations up into the video. We'll talk about them, dissect them, and I'll tell you how they relate to my life. And hopefully we can solve some problems if problems exist. I don't think I have anything else to say. Normally I have really long-winded intros, but I think we'll just wrap it up and tap it right now. Today's first awkward situation is actually three awkward situations. As you can see, I've never done this before, but all of these situations were very closely related, so I wanted to group them together, and today we're going to be talking about the subject of coping with death and death in general, but mostly coping with death because I've talked about funerals before in awkward situations, and I want to expand on that and talk about coping with death, so that's what we're going to do right now. Before I dive into this awkward situation, I just want to let you guys know that it's 5 o'clock in the morning, because that's when I like recording these awkward situations. But I wanted to let you know that because I have my window open, there's an awesome summer breeze blowing in, and my room just feels like the perfect temperature right now. But I also live near a major highway in good old Michigan, so there are many semis and cars driving by right around this hour, so you might hear them trying to butt into my commentary and jack my subs, but don't sub to them because they're stupid cars and trucks and they make shitty videos, except Fast and Furious 6. That is a good movie. I haven't seen it yet, actually, but I'll probably go see it this weekend. Anyway, fuck it. I need to stay on topic. Dealing with death, coping with death. I feel like I've had an awesome life so far. Nothing legitimate to complain about. Great parents, great friends, great school, but I've definitely dealt with my fair share of death. I went to my first funeral for a person that I was really close to when I was in kindergarten. It was my grandpa, and I vividly remember that. And since then, I think I've been to 3 grandparents' funerals. I have a couple sets of grandparents, by the way, because of adoptions in the family and whatever. So I have more than 4 sets. I have more than 4 grandparents in my mind. I have like 8, but that I'm close to too. I'm close to all of them. But yeah, I don't know why I'm trying to explain that. Anyway, like grandparents, great-grandparent, great-grandparent or 2, a couple of aunts and uncles, and a close friend died in high school. So I don't think that makes me an expert on death because it can hit you many different ways each time that it happens, no matter how many times it happens. It's an emotional thing, dealing with mortality. So there's no way to be an expert on it, but there's definitely proven ways to cope with it. The number one thing that you need to do if you've experienced a death in your life and you feel really sad about it is talk to people, because internalizing those emotions does not help, even though that's what some people really want to do, and it will honestly just make things worse and kind of ball up like a snowball, like an emotional snowball, and just crash eventually. I remember when my close friend died in high school, like I said, my school's great. It was a good school, so they allowed us to just walk around all day and talk to each other, like hang out with my friends. We just sat in the auditorium for a while in other places, and we just talked about our experiences with that person and remembering the good times that we had. And honestly, I think for some people, that really sped up the healing process because we were encouraged to talk to each other. I think our teachers knew that internalizing it, especially at a young age, is not going to help because it was an accident, and even some of my friends were around at the time. So they definitely felt guilty, almost like I could have done something differently in this situation or what have you. So, and they needed to talk to, some of them needed to talk to therapists too. And I definitely recommend anyone, if you talk to a therapist or a counselor, you're not a crazy person. I've talked to a therapist in my lifetime multiple times. It is something that's really healthy for people, honestly, just because it's an excuse to really talk to somebody and try to figure out some emotional issues. And if you're dealing with someone else who's dealing with death, like one of the situations was like a girlfriend's parent died, you need to have your ear open to talk to them, you know, make it clear that you want to listen to them, and honestly help them with things like, this sounds kind of weird, but if they have some chores to do or if they need groceries, get that for them even if they don't ask, because they might not be in the right emotional state to know these things, and just kind of help them get their life back on track. Even if they are telling you the same thing multiple times over and over again, just listen for them and be there for a long time. Because what is really hard on death, for me especially, because I feel like I cope with death a little weirdly. I've never cried in a funeral, and I don't say that to try to sound hard, because I actually think that sounds weird. I think it's normal to cry in a funeral. It's normal to deal with an emotion that way. But I really have trouble dealing with death in the immediate sense, because I really try so hard in my brain to think of the positive things and remember the memories and impact that person had on me. And it makes me happy when I force myself to think about those things. But then in the weeks after the funeral, when that person is gone and it really starts to hit me, I'm not going to see that person again, it definitely really makes me sad. So you want to be around for a person longer than just a couple of weeks after somebody dies. It does not happen immediately. A healing process is called a process for a reason. There's no express lane for that. There's no 12 items or less for the death express lane. I don't know, that's a stupid analogy. But yeah, just be there for the long haul and really talk to them. Or if you're dealing with a death, talk to people and find something to distract yourself. Just remember that, you know, even though that person's gone, the memories they've had on you really shape your life. And as you grow and more people in your life pass, you're gonna learn to appreciate the positive things they taught you and the memories and all that. So I hope that helps at least a little bit. Today's final awkward situation is a little bit different than awkward situations I've done with the past, and I think I'm just gonna roll with it, because this guy got pretty deep. He said, awkward situation, let's hear some of nobody's situation, and let us put in the comments to try to help him. Shit, I don't know, I'm fucking bored, but that shit was deep, bro. That guy may have been high on a drug called marijuana, but I am totally okay with it, because I'm a little sleep deprived myself, and that shit was deep, bro. I want to take this opportunity to tell you guys an awkward situation that has happened in my life, probably one of my most awkward situations that I could not see myself being able to say otherwise. Because what I like is when you guys write the stuff that's happened to you, like your embarrassing moments or whatever, and then I try to find things in my life that have happened that are similar to those, or maybe I've had the exact same thing happen, and then that's the way we bond, that's how we connect, and that's why I love this series so much. But I feel like I'll never get to say this, because I've read many of these comments and I've not even seen anything close to this to the point where I could use it as an excuse. So I'll just tell you guys about, like I said, probably my most embarrassing situation that's happened to me. I was, I believe, a senior in high school, or it was like the summer between my freshman year in college, and my brother and myself were both living at home, and we have a really big house, so we have a lot of space to hang out. My parents are really chill, and they let us hang out with people, like our girlfriends, which we both had at the time. So that was cool, and we had a lot of sex with them. I don't know, because we're players, and for some reason, without even talking about it, we just decided it would be a good idea to flush condoms down the toilet, because we don't want to throw them in the trash. Like, it's not like our parents cared that we were having sex, but I mean, it's not something you really talk about over the dinner table, or you don't want to make publicly broadcasted. I don't know. We just started flushing condoms down the toilet a bunch, and it clogged our drain, and it flooded our basement. And then our dad had to have a long talk with us about how he was glad that we were having safe sex, but our basement flooded. So that's stupid as hell. And yeah, it was very embarrassing. But I learned from that, and we put condoms in the trash. And watch me rage quit this game. And have a great night.
We be living it up. I got room for you, girl. Get in the front. These girls say they done trying, so they giving it up. And these girls ain't blind, so they give it to us. Floss over, whatever, like hell yeah. You don't know the crew, your girl will tell you.